San Diego's had some great athletes, homegrown folks. Most recently, Adrian Gonzalez. But do you remember the likes of Mo Connolly? How about Charlie Powell? Does that name ring a bell? Well, our next guest says that it should, because these are some of San Diego's finest athletes. And Joey Seymour has put together a book by that name, and it's great to see you here this morning.
Well, it's great to be here.
This had to be so much fun putting this thing together.
It really was, and it was originally my master's thesis at USD, and I was in the history program, and when I went to my professors and said, I want to write on sports history, they were a little hesitant at first. What sports history? Especially talk about San Diego sports history. But I said, no, I've got these athletes that they've done some incredible things, and not a lot of people remember who they are at first. But
well, a couple of them are pretty obvious. Greg Louganis, great diver, Valhalla High School, and of course Adrian Gonzalez, great homegrown product here. But when you start going back a little bit, there was one name that leaped out at me because my father made a Charlie Powell reference at lunch the other day. I wasn't quite sure who he was talking about until I saw your book.
Yeah. Well, Charlie Powell, San Diego High School All-Star in the 50s, and he came out, was the youngest player ever to be drafted by the NFL. And he went and played for the 49ers, was one of only 2 African Americans to be on the team. But right into when he was getting into it, really when he was starting to make a name for himself in the NFL, he decided, I want to be a boxer. And so he took to the ring, he got an incredible record, was knocking people out left and right, then decided he wanted to go back to NFL. And so he was always bouncing back and forth between NFL and boxing, and because of that, was never really became a superstar in either of the sport, but was really a dominant athlete, first multi-sport professional athlete, and a really great fun chapter to write on.
Well, and one of the biggest and best of all time, but again, back there a ways, so younger folks would not remember the name Maureen or Mo Connolly.
Yeah, Maureen Connolly, before the sport became, you had Serena Williams and Lindsay Davenport, even Billie Jean King, when it was a power game for the female game, it was a genteel sport. But then Maureen Connolly, at the age of 17, hit the courts and was a dominant force to be reckoned with. She was beating her opponents left and right, never losing sets. She was the first to win the calendar Grand Slam, all 4 majors in 1 year, never lost a set in any of those tournaments. But an unfortunate accident caused the end of her career at the age of 20. She was riding a horse, and that had been given to her by the city of San Diego for winning Wimbledon. Horse bucked her off into a cement truck, and it broke her leg.
Oh my gosh.
And that was the unfortunate end of her career, or else we probably would know much more about Maureen.
Now, another name that folks, again, they'll remember if they were around San Diego at the time, a phenomenal ice skater by the name of Tiffany Chin, who used to work out right up at UTC at the ice rink up there.
Yeah, Tiffany was an amazing, just from the age of 13, hit the ice and was a phenomenon. I mean, she was the one that all Americans put their hopes on for the 1984 Olympics, and she represented us, was the first Asian American female to represent the United States in the Olympics. Ended up, unfortunately, in 4th place, but for 1988, she was the one. Everybody was Tiffany Chin. We hung our hopes on her. Unfortunately, a few injuries sidelined her, and another skater named Katarina Witt came into competition and really took over to the sport. However, what Tiffany Chin did was she opened the door for Michelle Kwan and the other Asian American skaters that followed after her that really dominated in the sport.
So this had to be, again, so much fun to put this thing together, and I know folks are really going to enjoy just kind of taking it from Adrian Gonzalez, like I said, back to Mo Connolly and forward again.
Yeah, it was, you know, a great thing. Like I said, to be able to write my master's thesis on sports history was a lot of fun. And I finished the program, and I still have friends that are working on theirs today.
Sure. Well, you know what I've always said, you know, nobody says you have to be miserable while you're while you're working.
Yeah.
But do something you love. All right, we have got tickets to the big launch party here. It is this Thursday, 5:30 to 7:30 at the Hall of Champions. Now, it's only $15 for starters, but what we're going to give away to, I believe, 6 couch potatoes, a signed copy of the book, and a ticket into the event for the big launch party. All right, so it's on the Couch Potato Free Stuff page. Use some of your points there today at 10 a.m. Come by and see Joey Seymour and pick up a copy of the new book. Just phenomenal. Joey, thank you so much.
I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for doing it. Congratulations on a great project. For more information, go to san diego6.com and just click on Hot Topics.